Hi, I'm Mary Risley from San Francisco, and I have somewhat of a claim because I did a video 2 years ago saying, just put the fucking turkey in the oven. Well, now that it's a couple of days after Thanksgiving, you may be saying to yourself, what should I do with a fucking carcass? So today's video is about how to make something from the carcass and donate it to people in need. First of all, to start off with, pour yourself a glass of Pinot Noir and watch my video. So you want to pour yourself a glass of Pinot Noir and watch what I'm going to do. What I've done is I've taken a lot of the good meat off of the turkey. We've made our sandwiches, we've made our salads, and now I have a whole bowl of turkey meat, and the carcass is more or less clean, and I'm going to take it and put it into a big pot with all the bones and juices. You can put everything in here. This is the carrots, onions, and celery. So I have turkey stock, and now I'm going to add water and let it cook for 2 hours. What I'm doing here is trying a little experiment. I'm going to put some poblano chilies in my chili. So this is a fresh poblano. It's relatively mild, and this is one that I've grilled over the fire for a few minutes until it's totally black. Okay, now I'm going to take the blackened one and put it into a plastic bag for a few minutes to get the skin to come off. This is a mild pepper, but we want to get all of the blackened skin, and then also it's got seeds and ribs inside, and so we want to get the ribs and the seeds out. Before you start your soup, I recommend putting salt and pepper and olive oil on your pieces of turkey. Always put salt, pepper, and olive oil on it a few minutes before you add it to a dish because it gives it more flavor. Okay? Here's another thing I'm doing before I get started with my soup is I'm going to take whole coriander seeds and whole cumin seeds, about 2 tablespoons each, and put them over a gentle heat. And we're going to toast them in a dry pan and high heat and whole spices. I got my spices a little too toasty, but now I'm going to grind them up in a coffee grinder that I use just for spices, not for coffee. Okay, after 2 hours of fortified turkey stock, here you go. The turkey carcass was cooked with water and turkey stock. It could be with chicken stock. If you don't want to use it for your soup, you can freeze it. You can store it in the fridge for 5 days. You can store it in the freezer for 6 months. Okay, so I've made my stock, I've grounded my spices, I've chopped my peppers, and now I'm ready to make the soup. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start off with putting oil in the bottom of a pan, adding some onions and carrots and celery. You always start onions in oil or butter to soften first. I'm going to throw in some carrots and celery. And if it's chopped finely in French cooking, it's called mirepoix. And I always add the garlic later because the garlic is likely to burn, and you don't want the flavor of burnt garlic. My onions are softened in the oil, and now I'm adding my minced garlic. It could add a little bit more salt, and watching it carefully so the garlic doesn't burn. What I want to show you here is these are some leftover vegetables. Those are already cooked. These are the stems and some uncooked vegetables that are left over. This is sweet potato that I cut up, and this of course is the leftover turkey, and these are cooked beans. So I want to put in the hard vegetables first and let them cook for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then add the softer vegetables. If you don't want to use beans, boil some rice. White rice would be good. It cooks in about 25 minutes. Or wild rice or brown rice cooks in about 45 minutes. Now I'm going to add a cup of white wine. And of course that's a quarter of a bottle. Don't bother measuring it. Cup of white wine. Okay. Now I'm going to stir in a can of tomatoes. What I always do with a canned tomatoes is I got a little bit of water from the tap to get the little tomato the rest of the tomato out of the tin. So we're going to add some water to that. There we go. Okay. And recycle the tin. And now I'm going to throw in my turkey stock. When you have a hot pot of stock like this, don't pour towards yourself, pour away from yourself, because this is hot and I don't want to burn myself. Turkey stock going into my pot. Boy, this is going to be so good. Okay, let's look at this. I have the onion mixture, the garlic mixture, some white wine, some tomatoes that I already put in the toasted and ground spices. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of chili. I never use chili powder because the chili powder is a mixture and it's not very good, but this is really good chili powder. Now I'm going to add my broccoli stems, my hard vegetables. It could be carrots, green beans, broccoli, cauliflower, and I'm going to let it cook for about 5 minutes. And while that's cooking, I want to talk a little bit about food waste in this country. There's been a lot of publicity lately about 40% of the food produced in this country goes to waste, is discarded or composted. And of course food's going to be discarded when you don't eat all the celery in the bottom of the fridge, or the potato skins or things like that. But a home cook can find out where their local shelter is and make a pot of healthful, nutritious food and take it to the shelters. There are people in need all across this country that don't have enough food, and you can do what we're doing today is didn't go to the grocery store. I'm using only what I have on hand after the holiday dinner and cooking it up in a big pot and flavoring it and taking it and tasting it and taking it to the shelters. Now this has been cooking a while. I'm adding my garbanzo beans that have been boiled. Whenever a recipe says boil them for 45 minutes, or you never know. You boil them until they're tender. This is beans, vegetables, so we'll give it a few more minutes and we'll add the turkey and soft vegetables that I cooked the other day and made too much of by mistake. Now I'm going to add the leftover turkey that has been got olive oil, salt, and pepper in it. And we're going to let this cook for at least 5 minutes. So what should I call this? Should I call this after the holiday chili, after the holiday soup, I don't know, but it's definitely something I have made from leftovers in order to take it to the shelter and help feed the hungry. And now I'm going to taste it one final time. I'm going to have 1 spoon in here, 1 spoon in here. And if it seems to lack a depth of flavor, you could add, you could boil it down. It might be too watery. There's not enough stock or meaty enough flavor to it. If it seems to not be acidic enough, you could add a little bit of lemon juice, and of course you can always add salt, but I always add salt for the lesser flavor. And in this time, I don't think it has enough chili spice, so I'm just going to add a little more ancho chili to it. And here we have my soup for the holidays to help feed people in need. And before we close, I want to wish you a very happy holiday. Happy holidays from Mary Risley in San Francisco. For this recipe and more, go to tantemarie.com. If you want to know more about the nonprofit that I started 27 years ago, go to foodrunners.org. 300 times a week, there's a volunteer that goes and picks up food and takes it to shelters. So foodrunners.org will tell you more about what people are doing to help people in San Francisco. Happy holidays.